Hi people, how are we all doing? It is me, Tommy Roney123. Having a great day. I hope you're all having a great day as well, guys. Today, no messing about. Best value, meta, cheap, too expensive players in defensive positions. So we're going to cover goalkeeper, left back, right back, centre back, all separately. I'll start off with SBC cards and objectives because obviously they're a bit more separate to everything else. I know a lot of you have SBCs and objectives, don't know whether they're useful still or not. I'm here to cover it. I also want to give a disclaimer, there will be players missing. It's near impossible to cover every single player that is usable in the game. If I did that, you guys will be bored and you wouldn't watch my videos. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, guys. Make sure to comment down below your favourite ones and we can discuss in the comments, guys. There will be a lot of nice honourable mentions down there. Guys, let's not mess about. Let's get straight into it, man. Okay, so I said I would start off with objectives here and SBCs. I also have Klaus and Damian who's just come out. Obviously, I got them down below. I don't know if it's showing or not. Damian and Klaus are there, guys. Obviously, very, very good card. Klaus probably one of the best players and links to Kimpembe and all the rest. Top player. But guys, in terms of objectives, I've got Billy. I still don't know how to say his name. Please, anyone Dutch, and I know I have a lot of Dutch viewers. You're actually the 4th biggest country that watches me. Please tell me how to pronounce in the comments. I need to know. So I have him in goal because obviously there's not really been an objective keeper. We got Owusu there as well. Don't worry about that. Got Owusu. Got to cover him. Tagliafico, McIntosh, and Trippier. Pretty much the Eredivisie squad foundation players. They're like the best we can find really when it comes to objectives. And then Tagliafico obviously and Trippier on the sides. They are also very, very OP as you can see from the stats. Now in terms of SBCs, guys, I put in Delict, I put in Sule, I put in PK. Let me talk about those three quickly. Delict, probably one of the best value centre backs this whole game has been releasing. That was a weird sentence. 85k or so he costed. Wow. Madness, honestly madness. Sule himself, what a card. I mean, Sule is an absolute rat when I face him. This guy just gets to everything, and same with PK, to be honest. It's the body type and everything. They're just too commanding. I'm not happy with it. But we got Koza. Koza is obviously one of the best new players coming to the team. Koulibaly is kind of an old one. He's too expensive, so he's not very good value now. But back in the game, back then, he was good value. And people sleep on him a lot because of his agility or his aggression, I think it was. Or something is a problem with Koulibaly. I don't remember exactly what, guys. It's one of them. It's one of them. But Phil Jones, I think, is the best value centre back of all time, and like I mean of all time in FIFA like history. 15k for the GOAT centre back. I mean, guys, come on, you can't miss out on that, can you? Phil Jones has to be there. 15k for that. Madness. Madness, people. That's just the SBCs and objectives, though. I'm not going to get into them too much because obviously we don't have prices to cover. But let's get straight into the next batch of players. Here we are, guys, with the goalkeepers. Let's talk about the goalkeepers then. So I've tried to cover pretty much every keeper for best budget. You know, I've tried to kind of separate as much as I can whilst not repeating myself too much as well. We got Areola in the bench, because he's around 1.5k, 2k, but he's down there. Right, but then we're going to Manyan. Manyan going up a bit. I think he's around 4k. Manyan on PlayStation and Xbox. Look, one of the best keepers in the game. You're going to see him again later on, so we'll talk about his upgrade, because I think it is a very good value for the upgrade you get. But Manyan is one of the best keepers in the game. He just has some broken animations. And with the patch update that's coming along, which you can watch, by the way, as well, so don't worry about that. I did release a video on the patch update. I think it's going to be even more OP. Same as the next man, Ramsdale himself. You know, 10k for this Ramsdale card. Very, very good stats. And he just performs in game. Same thing as with Manyan. He just performs. Lloris, Alisson and Donnarumma all fit into the same. Well, I'd say Alisson and Lloris really fit into that kind of caliber of players. So Lloris and Alisson, Lloris being 17k, Alisson double down, 34k, around that for PlayStation. Look, both incredibly good goalkeepers, around the same kind of rating. Alisson obviously just a bit higher, and he just has that weird ability to get to things he shouldn't. I don't know why people don't use Alisson at all. Maybe because Van Dijk is not as OP as he was last year, hence why people are not using him. But yeah, I don't know what people are doing sleeping on Alisson. Donnarumma obviously is a bit of a rat recently for me. He's just been bottling after bottling, but he's still one of the best value goalkeepers in the game. And not to mention, Donnarumma will be back after the new patch. The latest patch just killed him off a bit because he's a bit bigger, so he gets to things that are further away from him better than others, but closer to him might be a bit slower. The problem with that is EA completely messed it up for the keepers in the latest patch, but it will be fixed in the next one, guys. Neuer, bang, has to be there. One of the best keepers in the world, one of the best keepers in the game. Manyan, let's talk about Manyan really quickly, and Ter Stegen. Both special cards. I had to put them in there just because Manyan upgrade is actually quite significant. I made a video recently, and Manyan was an absolute god in it. So yes, Manyan is an upgrade. He's winter wild cards. And Ter Stegen, I did have him as well. I had him untradeable before I put him into an icon SBC like an absolute idiot. And yeah, that Ter Stegen is one of the best cards in the game. Look at those stats. He's so quick to things, it's unreal. His speed, like reacting to things that are close to him, is insane. Then guys, Casillas, Cech and Van der Sar speak for themselves. Van der Sar being the best one for me. I think he's better than Cech. Van der Sar's mid card is just an absolute god. I can't get past it. He saves with his feet, he saves with his head, he saves with his back, he saves with everything he has. It's just unbelievable. And Cech and Casillas, obviously, they speak for themselves, people. We need to move on to the wing backs, guys. So right backs are next. Yes, my people, moving on to the right back position. The best players in right back for every budget. You know, we're moving with Mbabu, obviously, to start with. He's so cheap now. I know at the start he was super expensive, but now he's so much cheaper, especially with his Ice and Fire card being out, which you can see is not there. Kind of astounded just because I don't think it's worth the value as much. You know, you got other players in that kind of price range, and I didn't want to include him twice since there's other right backs I want to include. But Cuadrado's there just above Mbabu, along with Hakimi. Hakimi has obviously dropped massively in price ever since Klaus Headliner came out, which is obviously top class card. That pun is not intended at all. But Florenzi and Cancelo next ones up. Florenzi's gone a bit up in price because people have started to use him as squad builders, including me, so make sure to check those out because Florenzi is an absolute beast. Nearly hooligan, but not quite there. Cancelo and Klaus, you know, Cancelo, we're talking the best right back in the game for me, and obviously his other cards are there, but I went with this card because I think, you know, obviously the other ones are a bit expensive, and that's because people know how good he is as a fullback. Klaus is an absolute beast. We all know everything about him. Traore is just above him. His rating is better, and he is better defensively than Klaus. Maybe not as good at going forward, but his passing makes up for that. Manafa is an absolute beast. I honestly think a lot of people are sleeping on him. Very tough to link Portuguese players sometimes, and especially from Liga NOS, since there's a lot of good players like Corona, Uribe and Rafa and all the rest. Manafa is perfect for that. He's absolutely perfect for that. What a player he is as well. Jesus Navas and Alexander-Arnold, next one's up. Jesus Navas, obviously being the short little midget he is, he's an absolute beast. He just runs and gets the ball. It's as simple as. His physical doesn't affect him at all. Alexander-Arnold is very good on that card because he's very fast on that card. Alexander-Arnold usually struggles with the pace aspect. And obviously we have Zambrotta. Zambrotta is not... what else can I say about Zambrotta? One of the best right backs of all time in real life. For me, he's way more worth that value than Cafu or someone else. So Zambrotta's got to be there. He's an absolute god. Next, moving on to the left backs, people. We got the left backs right here. What we're gonna start off with is Reguilon and Mendy, you know. Reguilon being the cheapest. It was really difficult to choose left backs actually because a lot of the good ones are between the 70 to 200k range. So Reguilon had to be the kind of the cheapest one that I could really think of. He's one of the best, you know how it goes. Him and Davies, Alphonso Davies, but I got Davies in there already. I don't want to kind of repeat him. Got Ferland Mendy. We know how good Ferland Mendy is. There's no two ways about it. I left out Theo Hernandez because, like, again, I'll be using his later card in there. Schultz and Amalvi, those are the special cards. I think it should be the other way around because if I'm correct, Amalvi's around 16k, Schultz around 20. Amalvi's obviously one of the best left backs to link in the Liga On before Delane came along, who we'll go on to talk about. But Schultz is a powerhouse, man. He's an absolute beast. Physically, he's absolutely built up and he will absolutely destroy your opponents. I went for 87 Cancelo instead of his 89 Champions League just because I feel like the 89 Champions League is very expensive for a left back. So I think this one's, you know, just about performs the same, and really it's cheaper by like 80k, so it's way worth it. Acuna, bit of a new one here, but I need a La Liga player in there, you know what I mean, guys? Some of you want a Liga team, so there you go. Acuna headliner, an absolute beast. Look at that card. Apart from shooting, he's literally hooligan and he's a left back. Absolutely unbelievable, and it's super fun to use someone like that. I really did enjoy using him personally. Delane and Spinazzola, both kind of the, you know, both pace, physical, strong left backs basically. Spinazzola is super rapid, by the way, in game, like insane. Delane's a bit slower in game than 94 pace, but his physical makes up for that, and he's absolutely difficult to get past. You got Theo Hernandez, not his 87 inform because that's way overpriced right now, so wait for that to drop, guys. Alphonso Davies, you know, Alphonso Davies, guys, there's no two ways about it. Everyone knows how he is. You know, pace, 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 pace. But he's got high low work rates, which makes him a bit of a pain in the ass to play with. But Ashley Cole, wow. Best left back in the game for me, 100% better than Maldini's baby. Ashley Cole is an absolute beast, and he needs to find a way into your team if you have some of your budget left over like that. I mean, he's around 389k, so that is a lot of money. But if you have some left over, no one better than that. Moving on to the last part, guys, and moving on to the centre backs. Let's firstly talk about obviously our honourable mentions here when it comes to centre backs. Klosterman, Koza, Teze, Teat, and Guardiol, who are all in there. But you know what? I can't fit absolutely every single centre back that is obviously very good in this game into these budgets. Guardiol obviously with pace, Teat with a lot of pace and physical. He's an absolute monster in the game. Teze and Koza, obviously we both know, guys, they're all 85 pace really, except Klosterman, who's an absolute beast. Either way. Lots of physical, lots of very tall, very good centre backs, guys. So those are obviously going to be there. Anyone else you want, make sure to comment down below. But let's talk about these guys. Koundé starting off with the cheapest budget, and obviously Kimpembe. Both of them French, both of them absolute beasts, both of them absolutely fast. Kimpembe for some reason is captain EA this year. It seems like every single thing he does, it just goes back to him, and he just doesn't lose. He can't lose, really. Kimpembe is the ultimate winner. Pau Torres, Upamecano, Tapsoba are there. People will be like, why don't you have Marquinhos? Yes, Marquinhos is one of my favorite centre backs, but for budget reasons, we'll be putting in these lot. Pau Torres, very good for 18k. Yes, he's 78 pace, but you give him Shadow, he's an absolute monster. He's one of the best centre backs I've played with. Upamecano and Tapsoba, both Bundesliga, both tall players with lots of physical ability. Tapsoba especially, some weird agile guy for his height. I think he's like 6'3", 6'4", but he's so agile for some reason, absolute monster. Varane has to fit in there. Varane is obviously one of the best centre backs in the world for years now, probably the best centre back that has played football in the last 10 years apart from Ramos. And apart from that, Varane is an absolute monster when it comes to in the game. Alaba wants to watch. A lot of people don't put him in their videos on YouTube just because Alaba is obviously not the first person you think of, but you know what, he's one of the most all-round players in the game. Not to mention that he's literally a CDM in centre back. His agility and balance makes him so special and makes him stand out from absolutely every other centre back you play with. Completely different kind of a card. Namdi Collins, what a monster. I mean, this guy is just ridiculously tall, isn't he? He has that stupid little afro as well, so it's just, it's so annoying when people have that hairstyle and then they're like so tall as well. It's just, you feel like you're playing pro clubs against them. They're absolutely unbelievable. Cordoba, yeah, 400k, I had to go for something in that budget range, and obviously Cordoba is one of the best centre-backs in the game, despite his 5'10" height. Ferdinand has to be in there, baby Ferdinand, year in, year out, is one of the best centre-backs in the game, and then Maldini mid icon has to be in there, because I don't think his prime is worth the upgrade for another mil. His mid is already doing the job as it is. Looks absolutely incredible, guys. Let me know, obviously, down in the comments below if you want to see more. Next up, I'll be touching on midfielders, guys. Make sure to comment down below and discuss as well who I should have put in there, because I'm sure there's a lot of cards that I've missed out on, but you guys will be first to tell me that I should be putting them in there. And I think as I speak, I just realized I put Koza in there. Koza's already in the SBC team, so I apologize for that. That's my fault. I should have put Marquinhos. Anyway, guys, until next time, peace.